Okay, welcome to the channel. We have, this one today is a beauty, I think. And here's why it's a beauty. Angelina, let me read the title as if you can't see it, right? It's great big letters. Angelina Jordan, of course. It's a man's world, one of her best. Perfect practice makes perfection more perfect. Probably could have thought of a better way to say that. I was thinking about doing perfect practice. No, I forgot what I was going to do now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're going to leave it that way. James Brown cover, age 11. By the date, it says right there, 2018. I would assume she would be 12 at this performance, but I was told she was possibly 11 by somebody who is a very, very, very reliable source. So she could be 11, so I decided to put both in the title because I don't, I trust my source, but the title is the title, so I don't know what to do. So typically, if there's something in the title that's informational, like a date or something like that, or a place or whatever, like here it's got the place is Oslo, and it's got the band's name, and it's got a date, so it's kind of like, all right, so I go by that. I put that in, I try to put that in a video because we seldom get information, and when we have it, I'm overwhelmed with joy. And I put it in there because I want to pay respects to whoever put the information in there. So, enough of that baloney. So, onward to show. So, anyway, he gave me this link to this rehearsal. I've seen the rehearsal before. What I didn't know was that this rehearsal is for this performance. Today is the first time I ever heard that. And I've seen, of course, both videos many times. James took this one I posted, I think, early this morning, the performance one with A Man's World. One of Angelina's best, no doubt about it. It's in the top tier. It's probably in the top, I always like to be vague. Somebody says top 10? How about, it's in the top 100, and it's probably in the top 10. It might even be in the top 5. It's one of her very, very best, I think. But I can't do it. She's my granddaughter, man. I can't pick and choose winners and losers, okay? She has no losers. They're all winners. So then it's just a matter of what level of winner they are. So I don't want to be, I said before, if somebody took me out and we're making a movie and they wanted to torture me and ask for information, tell us what's Angelina's best performance. Tell us now or else, okay? It's like, or else. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it, okay? Maybe I could if I put my mind to it, but I don't want it. I'm not going to, okay? Yeah, I'm stubborn, okay? I'm not going to do it. So, I always say, my mother always said, you're Irish and you're Dutch, so you're stupid and you're stubborn. She didn't say it to be mean. She said it about herself too, but it's like, some of the characteristics of the Irish aren't stupid. I consider the Irish to be devilish in a lot of ways. They have a spark in them, that's a little bit different. And the Dutch are stubborn, okay? so there's no sugarcoating that one. They are stubborn. Say that's one of their characteristics. Not that it's a bad thing, because stubborn can be good or bad. It depends on the situation, right? So let's talk about Steve Callaway. Let's go on and we'll look at the video here. Now, I'm just going to try to pull this up, and we'll see what happens. What I would like to do is get us a full screen. Okay, oh, those lucky people to be there playing with Angelina like that. That is just. Okay, so that one's done. I don't know what this one is. Got like 6 of them up and running, right? So, yeah, you know what? Okay, I just died and went to heaven, man. This is it's too much. It really is. Be she 11 or be she 12, or any age, that's... That ain't right, man. She's so good. She's so good. You know what? Somebody pointed this out in the comments too about this video. Okay, the performance. That there's so many intricacies in that song. You know, that part where she's talking about the train and the lights and all those things. It's like nothing's on the beat. You know, everything's kind of like mixed in there. It's kind of like spaghetti, right? You throw it against the wall, and it's all just a big pile of stuff. You know. And yeah, it's very intricate. And I'm not a musician. I don't know the proper terms. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm a carpenter. Okay, give me a couple 2x4s, a couple of nails, and a hammer. I'm in business. So she's, and then the timing. You know, that's right. You know, in this song, it's obvious. You know, there's places where she's on the note, not on the note, way before, way after. I mean, it's all over the place, right? That's intricate. That's intricate. You know, it's. I look at my, you know, I sing in the car and stuff like that. You know, I'm not a good singer. I'm not, I mean, I can kind of carry a tune, sort of, maybe. It depends on the day. And I find myself sometimes, you know, you try to stay with the, if I have a song in my head, that's a good one. And I'm going with the melody, right? You know, I guess when you're not a good singer, you tend to be on the note all the time. You know, you want to be right on it so you don't get behind or whatever. You know, you can't, it's hard to play catch up if you don't know what you're doing. And, you know, because you're sort of learning in a way, you know, that's a way to keep on track with your singing. You know, and follow the melody and the tune and the pitch and all the other things you got to do while you're singing, right? So that's just my experience, and everybody's experience is probably a little different. But, you know, that's what I do when I'm singing in the car, and I listen to her, and it's like I would have I don't think I'd have a single clue where I was in this song, what to do. I'd probably be stumbling all over myself trying to even figure it out. Just me, but I'm not I'm not a singer like Angelina, of course, but I've been singing most of my life a little bit, you know, here and there. I just don't, not like this though, of course. not even close. So, so anyway, so that was the rehearsal, and I swear to you, I'm sitting here and it's like, I've seen that, I don't know how many times I've seen that. It's just jaw dropping, head shaking, you know, this kind of thing. You know, it's like, you know, it's just unbelievable how good she is. How good she is. And now the performance. So let's go ahead and watch this again. I just posted it yesterday or early this morning, and you know what? I don't care. Maybe I'll just do a channel where I just do this video every day, all day, 24/7. Maybe I'll just do that. I don't know. We'll see. Would I get tired of it? I don't know. I don't think I would, actually. It's not like eating pizza. You know, I can eat pizza for many days in a row, many. And I don't really ever get tired of eating pizza. I love pizza, okay? I always list that as my favorite food. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm one of those kind of people, too. Some people say, well, I don't want chicken today. I had chicken yesterday. Oh, okay. So, somebody was jogging by the front window. And I love it. The dogs go up to the window and they bark like crazy like that. Then they turn around and look and make sure I'm watching. It's like, hey, we're doing our job over here, boss. Yeah, you are. Of course, they didn't factor in that I'm in the middle of the video. They don't, you know, that they got a job to do and they're doing it. So, Let us watch the performance. I will edit out some of that silliness and stupid stuff. Some of you may want to see it. I don't know. I don't like to edit a lot of the stupid stuff that I do out because I'd rather have you see me in my natural environment doing my natural thing. And if it's stupid stuff, it's stupid stuff. You guys always can fast forward and not watch it, okay? Because I don't know what people like or don't like sometimes, and I don't want to cheat those that like watching it out of it, and I don't want to bore to death the people that don't want to look at it. So I figure you always got your own methods of fast forwarding or whatever. So I'll let everybody make their own choices, of course. Not my job to tell you what to do with your time. Let's move on to this performance. I almost don't know what should I hit the button? I don't know what to do. I'm so scared. No, that one, no. So this one's unavailable. So yeah, that's okay. We'll do it this way then. Now, hopefully, you guys can still hear me, but you can't see me. So hopefully that other video doesn't somehow start up in the middle of this video. That could happen, but I'll fix it in editing, I guess, somehow. I'm going to go on full screen and we'll get busy.
Carry us
So one of my other regular commenters, Kerry with a K, he pointed out that I think it was Kerry. Maybe it wasn't Kerry. Anyway, Kerry's always pointing out interesting things. Might have been less. I don't know. I don't remember now. Anyway, so that one of the most heartwarming and almost tear-jerking moment of the performance is at the end. Let me go there. Let me back it up a little bit. You can see it. I'm just gonna get to that point, and I'll let you guys listen to or make your own call on it. Okay. Here's the end. So I might have to back up just a little bit more. Make sure I catch that last. There we go. That part. I actually just want to hear it again. So, I got to go back a little further, and I'll tell you why. Because I think it's just before here where the, yeah, right there it is. When she does the first loud part, or the belting part, and the conductor looks over and shakes his head. What I was making sure to watch this time was I was trying to keep an eye on this guy back on the piano back in here. You just barely see a little bit of his head right there. He's got a ponytail. He was in the rehearsal video playing the piano, but you could see him. He was kind of like up in front of the camera over here. You could see him a lot better than you can in this one. But the look on his face, too, when he's done, and he's clapping, he's applauding for Angelina. And he just looks like he's having such a joyful experience, right? Same thing with the rest of them, too. The clarinet players back here. Of course, the conductor looks like he's just having the best day he's had in a long time, too. So, this is the effect. This is the Angelina Jordan effect. She's so good. It's like a tornado. Everything gets sucked up into the funnel with her, and it gets better. If everybody gets better, they have to step up because they know this is not just another performance. They know that. Okay, I believe they know that. Now I could be wrong. Maybe they got the same reaction to everybody that they played with, or if they're just playing maybe classical music or something. Maybe they feel like they got done. They say, "Wow, that was my best day ever." Maybe that's the way it is for them. I find it hard to believe because you just don't hear. Angelina is special, man. You just don't hear this every day. Not possible. I don't care where they play, who they play for. They're not hearing this kind of thing every day. This is out of the ordinary. So what the commenter said to me was, which made sense, was that what made him emotional was Angelina's reaction after she's done singing, and the audience is applauding, and the conductor's looking at her and all that. Is she has so much humility and humbleness, and she's almost surprised that people are clapping for her and applauding and all that, and a standing ovation. She's like shocked, like, well, what? What's this all about? I didn't do anything. I was just singing. I sing every day. Yeah, just like that. I nothing special. Just another day. Another day singing. Oh, so let's watch it from here. Again, you guys can focus on whatever you want to focus on. You can focus on Angelina's reaction at the end. It's all great, man. And I hadn't really looked at the. I kind of did, but I didn't really recognize it as strong as this commenter. my commenter also noticed that she put in a second curtsy, which she doesn't. I don't think she does that very often. But and there's that fairly decent sized orchestra, and the orchestra sounded really nice. I know James tweaked this a little bit and tried to make Angelina's voice a little more prominent, and some of the instruments in the original version were a little bit overpowering, so he tried to subdue them a bit. And he didn't change it much because it didn't need to be changed much. But I think most people that have seen the videos that noticed in the first part that there were a couple instruments that were kind of a little bit overpowering, but not to the extent that it was unlistenable, of course. But it was people notice these things, and you got to remember too that in live events. You got a live orchestra. You got Angelina. Bob Palmer, my good friend from ever since Portsmouth, is he was our sound guy up there for Dancing in the Park, the Angels Dancing in the Park, and he's a great guy. He's extremely knowledgeable when it comes to any kind of sound or anything like that. And he told me, and it makes sense. And after he told me, it's like, of course, it's one of those kind of things, right? That. The sound guy, whoever's running the soundboard for this thing, can you imagine? They probably have, each one of those instruments is probably mic'd at least once. Some probably more than once. Different positions, for the mic. And, of course, Angelina is mic'd. I don't know if anybody else is mic'd up there or not. I don't think the conductor probably wouldn't need to be mic'd unless he does some kind of speaking at some point. But, so now you got all those mics, and then you've seen those big boards with all the levers on there. They got to try to get the right mix of everything so it all sounds nice, And boy, talk about complicated. Because here you're not talking about Angelina sitting there with Ivan. Of course, they don't use mics or mixers or anything in those kid situations. They don't need to, but in this situation. Yeah, I don't know if the people on the left can hear what the people on the right are doing, So somebody's got to blend that all together. And the conductor's there in the middle with Angelina, and hopefully they all can see him so they can follow along. But, it's a lot, right? But Angelina is right there, man. She's always right in the pocket. She knows what she's doing, always. And there's no question about that. She always has. Now, she does put in the work. We just saw her do a rehearsal. It's not like she just walks out there and it all comes to her. No, she has to work it. I'm sure she has to work it. Especially these lyrics are so complicated, and they're not, and where they fall and everything. And she just does it like it's another day at the office. But it ain't. I don't think it probably didn't start out that way. It probably started out with figuring out how she wanted to do it and then doing it that way. I also did notice that in the performance, it didn't appear to me that Angelina was referring to any notes of any kind. So she knew all the words, the lyrics, and everything else, and I don't think she needed any help with that in the the rehearsal. In the performance, she's got that podium there in front of her, and it looks like she's got probably, I don't know whether it's her playlist or lyrics for this song or other things. I don't know. Every so often you might see her just kind of take a quick glance over there. I don't blame her. I don't know how many songs she's got in her head, but it's a lot. She's got to remember the lyrics, and sometimes lyrics are similar in different songs. So then it's like you got to make sure you get the right lyrics for the right song, right? So yeah, it's got to be a lot for her to remember. Especially again, she's 11, 12 years old, right? And she's still in school, and I don't know whether this is summertime and school is out or what, but it said the date earlier. This was in June 16th, so it's right in the middle of summer. Right after school's out. Here in America, I don't know about it in Norway. And, so there's all that. So I hope you found that fun and interesting. I sure did. Seeing the rehearsal first and then seeing their performance. I don't think I've ever done that in another video because I oftentimes don't know the rehearsal videos. I don't always know what performance they're going to. If I had a date of the rehearsal and a date of the performance, I could probably assume that, the performance immediately following the rehearsal would be why she was rehearsing. But I don't always have those dates, and I don't know where to get them. I wish I could find them somewhere. So that's it. Let me quit rattling on. Let me get back over here so you can see me. Maybe I don't know if that's a plus or a minus, but we'll go ahead and do it that way. Remember, my hair is looking pretty nice today. I gotta say, it actually looks like it's less gray than normal. How could that be? Yeah, all this stress I've been under, it should be white, totally white. So, this should go back. There we go. Go back to a picture of some kind, so we don't have to look at a black screen or a blank screen. So, oh, what an adventure that was, okay? I figured a couple of minutes, get that video. Hour and a half later, I'm still monkeying around over here. Yeah, I said this in the video yesterday. I said, if I win the lottery and I win a couple $100 million, probably one of the first people I'm going to hire is somebody to do all the technical aspects of making these videos, okay? I want to be involved in, the creative part, and also like the layout and stuff like that. But if I hire somebody, they can, do whatever you want to do, but, it comes through me, because my name's on it and it's me. So, I'm not a control freak. I'm not into minutia. I don't need to know, don't want to know necessarily. Now, I'm also a curious guy, so even though I hire somebody, I probably would like to know what's going on, and a lot of that would be thinking, well, if I ever had to do it myself, I hope I ought to know enough to be able to do it myself, right? Which I'm doing it myself now, so it's not like I'm totally without some knowledge. But I just feel like I'm so weak in so many areas. I need help by somebody that's one of these younger kids that are just zip through all this stuff like it's walking the park. It's not for me. Don't understand the terminologies. I'm getting better at it, but I'm not there yet. I don't. If I call a help department and chat with somebody, and they start using terms that are probably fundamental to them, but they are Greek to me. So it's like I don't even know what they're talking about. Do this, do that, and it's like, oh, whoa, you got to slow way down. Do. I understand what that means. What's the word after that? Yeah, it's tough. It's tough sometimes. And I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. I think familiarity should cure most of it. But I've been doing this a year now, and I've learned a lot. But I've got so much farther to go. And then if I run into an issue or a problem, I have no skills to be able to guide me on how to fix those things. Sometimes it's the simplest thing. Here's a quick story. I don't want to bore you to death with my stuff. This is my iPhone Pro Max 14. I bought this just before going to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, September 22nd last year. I think I bought it like 2 days before or 3 days before. It was right near the time. And the reason I bought it is because my other phone's not here. I had a Samsung. I've always been a Samsung guy. This is my first iPhone I've ever owned. And I had it a couple days. It was probably maybe a week and a half or so before I was going to go to Portsmouth. I decided my mechanic had told me he did a bunch of work on my car to get it ready to go, and it had to be inspected and all that. So anyway, got it all done, and he said, your front brakes on especially the one on your driver's side, they're getting to the point where you should think about getting them replaced. He said they're okay, they pass inspection, but they're on their last legs, And he said, I just thought I'd give you a heads up. So I have replaced brakes before. I don't like doing mechanic work, and I'm not a mechanic. I'm a carpenter, okay? It's a whole different skill set and a whole different set of tools. But I can do it. I can turn a wrench, and I can figure stuff out. To me, that's working with your hands. A lot of stuff just makes sense. It's mechanical, I just don't like working on cars, It's kind of, every time I do that, I get banged up. I'm bleeding. I get grease under my fingernails. It takes me a week to get it out of there, all that kind of stuff. I know some people wear gloves, but, I'm one of those, remember, I'm stupid and stubborn. So I was fixing the brakes. I had my Samsung phone, which is the only one I had at the time that was functional. I had that in my pocket. I rolled over on a ratchet and a socket. I was looking for it to use it, and I rolled over trying to, feeling around on the floor to where it was, and I rolled over on it, and it cracked the screen when I rolled over on the ratchet. And yeah, so that was unfortunate. I still have the phone and it still works, but it doesn't. I don't have service on it. I just use it for playing games and checking emails and stuff like that. It works okay with Wi-Fi, but it doesn't have a service plan. So Now I had made the commitment to go ahead and MC and live stream the Dancing Angels in the Park thing, so I thought, well, I don't think I should rely on a cracked screen phone to do the major part of the heavy lifting. I better go get me a different phone, right? So I went down to the local place where they sell phones, and I ended up getting an iPhone 14 Pro Max, which they said probably one of the best for that kind of thing, a live streaming deal. I guess there was a Samsung equivalent. I don't remember the name of it, but I could have gone that way. And I thought, well, I've had Mac computers ever since the mid 1980s. I bought my first couple of them. I had a construction business, and I bought these little. They were about like this here with little tiny screens and internal, external drives. Everything had wires, the keyboard, the mouse. So you had all these wires running all over the place, and but it beat the heck out of what you had to use the IBM and the other stuff. A lot of them were still keystroke. You had to know all the keystrokes and the commands and all that. It's like, ooh, that's way too much. Remember, I'm a carpenter. I can build you a house, but getting on there and making anything work, I don't have the time to get into that. Which I probably should have done stuff like that back then. I'd be better now, right? But I didn't. I really didn't have the time. So, and I was unwilling to make the time for something like that. I had a lot of other things going on. So I bought the iMac Pro, and here's the point I was going to get to. I don't know who did it, or why, or how, but there's a little. I didn't know this. I haven't had a ringtone since September on my phone. It doesn't make any noise. I go into settings, I pick a ringtone, I hit the button, nothing happens. The phone rings, nothing happens. It doesn't vibrate, doesn't ring. I don't know. The only way I know I got a phone call is if the screen lights up and I look down and I see I got a phone call, or later on, it'll pop up that I got a phone call, a missed call, and I have this thing with. Somehow numbers always come up 1, 2, 3, 4 sequential for me. For every time I look at a clock, they're always in sequence. I don't know, not always, but it comes up more often than I would think it probably should. I don't know if it means anything or not, but it just gets my attention for some reason. So, yeah, I haven't. I've been down to I went down to my service provider for my phone. No clue. And I went somewhere else, no clue. So last night I was at pickleball, and there was an older guy there, and he was monkeying around with it. He had his phone out, and he was doing stuff. I said, hey, just out of curiosity, I've had this thing since September, and I can't get the ringtones to actually ringtone, to make a noise. I've selected the ringtone. I've done all that. All the things went into this, system preferences and all the other stuff you got to do, and I found the place. I found all the ringtones. I picked one, and I said, but it doesn't work. People call me. There's no tune. So he took it and he said, let me take a look at it for a minute. He said, I don't have an iPhone, but let me look at it. So there's a little button. There's a little switch here that you can turn the ringtone on and off. I never knew that. He pointed it out and said, I didn't even know there was a switch there. It's right next to the volume control, and it's kind of indented a little bit. And there's a little switch. You actually can see it now when you look at it. There's a little switch that goes up and down to turn the ringtone on and off. Didn't know that. Turned it on. Matter of fact, right after he turned it on, somebody called me and it worked. It's like, it's a miracle. Okay? That's how much technology I know. None. Okay? So now I know about that little switch. He says, yeah, it's there because, like if you're in a meeting or something, you can turn the ringtone off, turn it back on. It's just more convenient there than going into system preferences and all that jazz. I said, yes, it's very convenient. I didn't know it existed. So that's the extent of my technical skills. Zippo, I got none. I didn't know that. Most of you probably know that like the back of your hand. I didn't know that was even a thing. I always thought when I didn't want my phone to ring, I'd turn it off or turn it way, turn it way down so that it might vibrate in my pocket a little bit, but that's no big deal. So let us move on. So talking about me. All I do is talk about me. This is the Steve Callaway channel. So yeah, you're getting to know Steve Callaway whether you like it or not, and you always can fast forward through all that stuff like I've been saying. If you listen to it, I don't know. Some, I watch reactors too, and there's some I listen to, some I don't. Actually, there, and I subscribe to a fair number of them. Like I'm subscribed to over 900 people, I think. And there's the ones I subscribe to are the ones I feel are authentic and real. The ones I won't subscribe to are the ones I feel are just plastic. They're just out there trying to get views and clicks and all that. I won't subscribe to them. I'm looking. You know why? Because it's like you're getting to know me by this. This is me. This is how I am all the time. People that met me in Portsmouth says, "Well, you're just like you are on YouTube." I said, "Yeah, because I'm not putting on a facade. I'm not acting. This is me. This is how I am." And that's all I can bring to the table is me. Yeah, I mean, that's what I have to offer. That's it. I don't have anything. I don't have it. I'm not a music professional. I'm not anything like that. I'm not, I'm just a guy. I'm a carpenter, okay? So what can I bring to the table that would give you a different perspective? Nothing but my point of view, and that's it. That's all I got, okay? And then you get to know me a little bit, and then you can see where maybe some of the stuff comes from that I say and all that. But, the stuff like with the technical ability and all that, sometimes, I've had a bad couple of weeks, so I find myself whining once in a while, to get it out of my system. Poor me kind of thing. I don't like to do that. That's not really ever been really part of my life. But, there's times when things just, the pile of bad stuff gets so high, you just know it's going to collapse on you at some point, right? And but then you also know that there'll be a pile of good stuff building up here very shortly, and then it'll even things out. So that's that. So Angelina, the rehearsal and the performance, spectacular both. And it's easy to see where the performance comes from when you hear the rehearsal. Right there, baby, right in the pocket. And everything Angelina does, I believe she's a perfectionist. And I also believe that she's, part of being a perfectionist is she's always tweaking things to make them better. She doesn't need to because it's already perfect, but she's going to make it more perfect, okay? That's one of the reasons why I put that in the subtitle up there, was she's always making little minute changes. You and me might not even, if we listen to two songs side to side, we might not even notice the changes that much. We might notice big changes, but there's probably a lot of little things in there. She's constantly tweaking everything a little bit. Now, and I've noticed that in other videos too, where the same song, I got a song list, and it has, I can sort it by songs, and she's maybe done some of the songs she's done all kinds of times, 20, 30 times in different venues, different places, stuff like that. And you listen to every song, every single one is a little different. There's no two that are exactly alike that I've seen. And I've looked. I've looked specifically for that, and it's not, there's always the little things, something, And that, to me, is the mark of genius, isn't it? That you always got to keep that ball moving. You always got to keep it rolling forward. You always got to try to make it a little bit better. I use this analogy, and I'm not an expert, so if I get things a little bit wrong and I'm oversimplifying, that would be the nature of the beast here, okay? But Albert Einstein, one of the things that made him famous was the E=mc² formula. He spent years, years, trying to perfect that formula or get it to where he thought it was perfect, which is, some of it's, more or less, we'll call it theoretical until it's proven. But anyway, he spent years. The genius in what he did, and he was a genius, the genius in what he did was making the complicated simple. That's a simple formula. But if you ever saw, they did a documentary on him, and he had, I don't know, it looked like 4 or 5 huge chalkboards, all full of calculations to try to arrive at that formula. He boiled it all down to that. That's genius. That's genius. Taking the complicated and making it simple. That's what Angelina does. She takes this complicated song like this one, and then she tweaks it here and there just a tiny little bit that we might not even notice, but for her, it was necessary. And because her pursuit of perfection, perfection is one of those kind of things, I think, where as soon as it's perfect, it already isn't perfect again. Now you have to evolve it to a different place for it to remain perfect. It has to keep changing with the times, because that change is the only thing that's absolute. Second by second, everything, even less than second, milliseconds, many bazillion seconds. Everything's changing every second, all the time. And, if you don't keep up with it, it can surpass you. Like me. I should have learned computers a long time ago. Never did. Okay. Does that mean I can't function? Well, I think I do okay, but you know, I wish I was better. And the only way that wish is going to come true is if I work at it a little bit, you know. So, I think that's a way long time to be talking today. I'm sorry to take up all your time. If you're still here, God bless you. God or whoever else you believe in. And we will see you on the next video. I think this was just a wonderful way to do this with both the rehearsal and the performance. I like it. If I can find more like that, I might do more like that. That's it. See you guys later. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.